can't get it done anymore. So bring Shedeur Sanders up with the young kid, the lefty, and now your first and second team are the young quarterbacks. That's what we want to see. And make no mistake, Alex, we talked about this yesterday. You said there's 2 first-round picks that they have next year, right?
Yep.
So this is about, let's see what we have. Are one of these guys going to be our quarterback moving forward?
Right.
And to me, look, I was saying something about Shedeur Sanders. And to me, I just know this kid has so much.
So Alex Smith just lit the league on fire with what he said about why Shedeur Sanders isn't starting for the Cleveland Browns. And it's messier than a whole season of reality TV. Confession time, this ain't about stats or plays anymore. This is straight drama. The Browns didn't just bench their golden boy for football reasons. Oh no! What Alex exposed might make every fan side-eye the whole organization. Something shady's brewing behind those locker room doors.
Yeah, I think there's always something to build on. No moral victories whatsoever, but I think regardless of result, week to week, there's a process, and more time you spend around anyone, you're gonna get more continuity, and that's, QB to receiver, that's QB to running back, that's us as a whole unit coming together really, and getting comfortable with, our
If you're vibing with this story, hit that subscribe button. It helps way more than you think. So, Alex Smith just stepped into the NFL gossip galaxy and dropped what he claims is the real reason Shedeur Sanders isn't starting for the Cleveland Browns. And let's keep it real. Anytime you hear the words, Alex Smith reveals the truth, you already know it's about to end in chaos, controversy, or some slick shade wrapped up as analysis.
He's looked efficient, right? He's got the ball out of his hands. He's only taken 1 sack, hasn't turned the ball over, hasn't put it in harm's way. He's got the ball to his playmakers, and they're in this game.
Meanwhile, the fact that he is starting is obviously a significant story. There have been very few situations like the one in Cleveland this year where they draft him in the 3rd round and then they draft Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round. And the immediate reaction here, Rex, from you was the fact that Dillon Gabriel is the starter and Joe Flacco is the backup is interesting.
Yeah, because it should.
But this time, it's not just another hot take, it's a straight-up roast session. Alex basically called out how the Browns took one of college football's coldest young stars and turned him into a sideline statue, standing there all polished up with perfect posture.
Other people will say, Dillon Gabriel is a really good quarterback. There's nothing wrong. There is a problem with that. I don't want a quarterback out there who's just out there and my receivers and my running backs are not getting any yards. I need receivers and running backs who are getting me dimes, because every time you get a dime, I'm still on the field. The clock is still running. I am in possession of the ball, and the ability to make points is available.
Because let's be real, the Browns got a whole PhD in confusion. If any team could take a 5-star quarterback and somehow turn him into a glorified water boy with Wi-Fi access, it's Cleveland. This is the same squad that once stared at a working roster and said, nah, let's blow it up and rebuild again.
And I want to see him out there like anybody else.
Yeah.
And why the hell he's not out there? It
makes no sense.
It makes absolutely no sense to me.
It makes no sense.
No sense.
You hit the nail on the head, Rex. This year, about the rest of this year, should be finding out if either of these kids can be a starting quarterback, right? And the fact that he's not bumped up to backup, something's off. Something's wrong, right? Again, given his ability, his track record, where they're at right now as a team, as a QB room with Joe Flacco, again, I don't understand why this guy's not the backup and ready to roll in case something happens.
So when Alex Smith steps up and says there's truth behind Shedeur's benching, the whole league leans in like they're watching a Netflix true crime doc. The truth? Oh, buckle up, because what's brewing in Cleveland ain't about stats or skill. It's about vibes, trust, and whatever spiritual mystery they're stirring up in that locker room. Let's start with the basics. Shedeur Sanders ain't your average rookie. This isn't some random 4th-round pick who just figured out how to tie his cleats. This is Shedeur, the same dude who turned Colorado football into a red carpet event. He walks into games like he's shooting a Rolls-Royce ad, not running a 2-minute drill. He's got swagger, accuracy, and composure under pressure that some vets still can't fake after a decade in the league. Yet somehow, he's not starting. Instead, the Browns got him sitting like a luxury collectible. Shiny, priceless, but locked in the box just for display. The same team that spent years begging for a real quarterback suddenly got too much talent to handle, apparently. So now Alex Smith comes through with that football guru energy, claiming there's more to the story. Oh, really? Because fans are out here connecting dots like it's a group project gone wrong. Did someone in the front office feel threatened by Shedeur's spotlight? Did he park in the wrong spot? Did he accidentally outshine the so-called franchise face at practice? Or maybe, just maybe, Cleveland's making chaos part of their brand aesthetic again?
Shedeur thinks this is the greatest out. I don't know what you want me to do. I was told they don't want to hear me, but I can't give my actual answer. So you want me to do coach speak?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what quarterbacks do.
That is what NFL rooms want. Now, fans, his followers, his supporters, sports media, obviously, we've all talked about it.
Yeah.
Everybody has hit it. We love that this is happening, but I don't know if it's necessarily the right move for an NFL career, if that is what you're looking for. But we don't know with Shedeur. Once again, all you need is one team to be like, that's fucking hilarious. We wish we would have done that direct.
But here's the kicker. Alex Smith's big explanation basically came down to development and preparation. Ah, yes, the NFL's favorite excuse for benching young talent. Because clearly, nothing builds a quarterback's confidence like watching a mid-tier starter get sacked 12 times a game while the playbook collects dust. That's the Browns' idea of mentorship, trauma by observation. Meanwhile, Shedeur's on the sideline, watching the same train wreck replay every week, probably wondering if he signed up for a live-action remake of Groundhog Day. Quarterback edition. Every drive ends the same. 3 plays, a punt, and a coach chewing gum like it's solving world hunger. And let's be honest, Cleveland fans are losing their minds. Alex Smith's revelation is basically telling us water is wet. The Browns got serious trust issues. They don't trust the process, the quarterback, or even their own reflection. They treat every young quarterback like a ticking time bomb, shiny on the surface but explosive underneath.
I always looked at the quarterback room as this. It's just like this kumbaya sort of. These guys come out of here and they're arm in arm, holding hands and all this stuff. They sit right next to each other in the front row. They do all these things together. And Cleveland messed this quarterback room up on draft day, in my opinion. I mean, you draft a kid high in Dylan Gabriel, then you draft not only a competitor but a pretty good quarterback in terms of Shedeur Sanders. So they're confused and they're competing. So how is it working? And you also have Joe Flacco in there. I don't know how much mentoring Joe Flacco is doing because he knows he's on his last leg. He's on his way out. And these guys are probably.
And here's the real twist. Alex Smith himself was the poster boy for talented quarterbacks who got benched for all the wrong reasons. The man literally lost his job to a rising star just because he was too consistent. So when he says Shedeur isn't starting for reasons beyond performance, trust me, something messy is brewing in that locker room. He knows that pain, being the vet who studies every page of the playbook, does everything right, and still ends up on the sideline holding a tablet like a substitute teacher who's just waiting for the bell to ring. But let's be honest, Shedeur ain't built to be a backup. His energy screams main character. You don't stash someone like that behind a struggling starter and expect him to play quiet. Come on. That's like parking a Lamborghini in the garage just to keep driving the family minivan. Yet here we are. Cleveland, the land where logic goes to retire. You've got Shedeur Sanders, son of Deion Primetime Sanders, the blueprint of swagger, precision, and leadership, stuck watching from the sidelines while the offense can't even move the chains. Every time that starter overthrows a pass, you can hear it echo from the stands. Fans muttering, "Put in Shedeur." It's not just a chant anymore. It's half prayer, half protest. But according to Alex Smith, there's this so-called bigger picture. Oh, sure, because in NFL language, that's code for we don't know what we're doing. But it sounds smart when we say it. Cleveland's been chasing that bigger picture since the Reagan era. And guess what? We're still waiting for the masterpiece.
People want Shedeur to be satisfied as QB3, emergency quarterback, a bag-up quarterback to Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel. Why Shedeur should be satisfied with that? ESPN Get Up Greeny told us on ESPN Cleveland that he couldn't find nobody from the scouting department, GM, to come back and tell them that they had Shedeur Sanders rated as a 5th-round draft.
And let's not pretend Shedeur isn't handling this like a true pro. The kid's staying calm, locked in, showing maturity beyond his years because he knows patience is part of the grind. But you can see it in his eyes. He's itching to prove something big. Every practice throw feels like a message. Every rep a quiet protest. He's not just waiting, he's simmering, the calm before the explosion. The funniest part? The Browns really think sitting Shedeur somehow makes him more prepared. Like seriously, since when does watching someone else struggle make you game ready? That's like trying to teach swimming by having someone watch YouTube tutorials from the pool deck. It's nonsense dressed up as strategy. Alex Smith's so-called truth feels like a polite way of saying the Browns have no clue how to manage talent. Because when you've got someone with Shedeur's poise, precision, and control, you don't babysit him, you build around him. You hand him the keys, not the clipboard. You let him make mistakes because he learns fast, adjusts faster, and never folds under pressure. Meanwhile, Cleveland's offense keeps looking like a buffet of missed chances. You can see the frustration written all over the field. The receivers want rhythm, the line wants leadership, and the fans just want hope. And all of that, every ounce of what they're missing is sitting right there on the bench wearing number 2, holding a helmet that belongs in the game.
I'm talking about Shedeur Sanders now.
Yes, sir.
If he believes there's no way on earth that I should have dropped this low, that is something more than football, then why would you allow something outside of football to contribute to whatever you're projecting?
Right.
You know, not me, not Stephen A, not RC, not Dio. You know, if you're Shedeur Sanders, this is what they did to me. And then you're sitting around and allowing fodder to be displayed where somebody's able to say, that's why we did that to you.
Right. Yeah.
You don't do that. So that's all I would say to him.
Cleveland's front office keeps saying they're protecting Shedeur from early burnout. Protecting him from what exactly? Winning? Because that's the only thing this kid refuses to avoid. He's not built to crumble under pressure. He eats pressure for breakfast and turns chaos into highlight reels. You can feel it. The tension's thick. Every week, every loss, every missed throw from the starter just piles it on. The media's circling like vultures. The fans are restless. And Alex Smith keeps dropping hints like a man who's seen this movie 100 times and already knows the ending. Because it always plays out the same way. The young, gifted quarterback finally gets his shot and suddenly everyone's acting surprised like they didn't see it coming. That's what happens when skill meets discipline. You can't hide it. Trying to bench Shedeur is like trying to trap a thunderstorm in a jar. It's only a matter of time before it explodes. Even the locker room feels it. Players talk. They know who commands respect, who boosts morale, who steps up ready to lead. You can't fake leadership, and Shedeur's got it running through his veins. Yet somehow the Browns keep convincing themselves that experience beats raw talent. Nah, they're not managing. They're delaying the inevitable, and the clock's ticking loud in Cleveland.
They don't care who's number 1. The worldwide news right now is 3 is still 3. Why isn't he 2? The world wants to see him get this chance. This reminds me of the Bronny situation. Dylan, you want to be Quincy. He was the one who got that contract. You want to be 3rd. You want Shedeur to go out there and then have a horrible time, and then you come in and have good moments. So you look good. You going out there first, no one's rooting for you. Unless you out this motherfucker perfect. Everything you do is going to be a target.
And let's be real. The NFL lives for a good storyline. They eat up redemption arcs, breakout moments, and new face of the franchise headlines. So when Shedeur finally gets his shot, it's not if, it's when. And when that moment hits, it's gonna break the internet. Because once the Browns finally cave and hand him that starting spot, it's fireworks time. The kind of game where the whole stadium suddenly realizes they've been watching the future just warming up on the sidelines all season. Alex Smith probably didn't mean to stir the pot this hard, but his truth just threw gasoline on a fire that was already blazing. Now every camera at practice is locked on Shedeur. No front office meeting can stop the wave, and no trust the process speech can calm fans who've suffered through one too many 3-and-outs. The Browns might call it caution, but what they're really doing is blocking their own success. The NFL moves fast, and confidence like Shedeur's doesn't sit around waiting. It demands action. It demands opportunity.
TV and just went haywire about the stunt that the NFL did on Shedeur. So why Shedeur is supposed to just sit back and say, hey, I'm in here in practice looking at Joe Flacco, a 41-year-old quarterback, and the way he playing? Come on. And I'm looking at DG, Dylan Gabriel, in practice, getting ball batted down at the line of scrimmage throwing balls where ain't no wide receivers at, and I'm supposed to sit back and be happy? No, bro, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. Shedeur is not satisfied being QB3 on the
If Cleveland doesn't wake up soon, they're going to end up watching Shedeur shine somewhere else and regret not handing him the keys sooner. Because here's the part Alex Smith didn't even need to say out loud. Shedeur Sanders doesn't need time, he needs a chance. A real one. Not token snaps or empty preseason promises. He's earned it, he's proved it, and now it's on the Browns to stop protecting their system and start protecting their potential. The fans know it, the analysts know it, everyone can see it coming. This is about patience paying off, confidence being rewarded, and a whole city finally realizing what they've been sitting on this entire time. And when that moment hits, when Shedeur finally steps onto that field and the offense starts clicking, the Browns' development excuses will disappear faster than one of their playoff leads. The critics will flip into believers overnight, and Alex Smith's little truth bomb will suddenly sound prophetic. Until then, Cleveland can keep acting like they're playing chess, while the rest of the league already sees checkers.
Turnover, he did this, and eventually you're going to be getting booed by that Cleveland Browns stadium. They want to see him play to see if he's good or not. That's just the way it is. No one cares about the rest. It's him, then Myles Garrett at this point. When we're talking about jersey sales, he's number one. At this point, if you're Cleveland, why are you still putting yourself under this guillotine? I understand why. You don't want to make yourself look stupid. We wanted him. We think he's it. He is the proven one, and we don't want you to go out there and perform very well. Makes us look stupid that we picture and fit. So you're fighting an inner fight anyway. There's really nothing you can do. So if you're Shedeur, he's not in a position to say, what the f you asking me for? What do I need to do?
But time's running out. The truth's already out there, and Shedeur's way too good to stay benched for long. Cleveland can keep spinning their little strategy stories all they want, but there's only one truth that really matters. When you've got a generational quarterback sitting right in front of you, you don't wait for perfect timing. You create it. And if they don't, well, history has a nasty habit of repeating itself, especially in Cleveland. Because if Alex Smith's right, and this whole mess is really about politics, fear, or image, then that's just embarrassing. The Browns don't need politics. They need points. They don't need safety. They need spark. And that spark's name is Shedeur Sanders. Give him the ball and let him lead, plain and simple. Because the only thing worse than losing games is realizing your golden ticket was sitting on the bench the entire time. Stylish shades, calm demeanor, golden arm, and all. So tell me, do you think the Browns will finally wake up and let Shedeur take over? Or are they going to keep playing scared? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like if you're rocking with this breakdown, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next chapter in this Cleveland chaos.